Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Centre advises states and union territories to consider imposing restrictions on public celebration of Holi and other festivals amid surge in coronavirus cases. India's total vaccination coverage crosses 5 crore doses. Canvassing heats up for first phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and Assam. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses rallies in West Bengal and Assam. Parliament passes finance bill. Limit for tax exemption raised on interest earned on Provident Fund contribution from 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh rupees per annum. National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill passed by Parliament to regulate practice of allied and healthcare professionals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Bangladesh on 26th and 27th of March to take part in 50th anniversary of its liberation war. 10 crores Ayushman card handed over to a beneficiary from Bihar. And in sports, Indian shooters Chinky Yadav and Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar win gold medals at ISSFF World Cup in New Delhi. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The Centre has written to Chief Secretaries and Administrators of States and Union Territories and advised them to consider on imposing local restrictions in public celebrations of Holi, Shab-e-Barat, Bihu, Easter and Eid-ul-Fitr and limit mass gatherings. In her letter, Union Additional Secretary in Health Ministry Aarti Ahuja said any laxity at this point in ensuring strict adherence to various Standard Operating Procedure SOP issued by the Ministry to contain the spread of COVID-19 may result in losing the impetus and benefits that the country has gained so far in managing the virus. She said strict adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior in public places and gatherings is the key to break the chain of transmission and reduce the incidence of cases in the country. Meanwhile, Delhi administration has banned all celebrations of Holi and other festivals in public places due to rise in COVID-19 cases in the city. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority has directed all district magistrates, police, law enforcement authorities to ensure that the public celebrations and gatherings, congregations during the upcoming festivals shall not be allowed in public places, public grounds, markets and religious places. Mumbai Civic Body has also banned all public and private celebrations of Holi festival due to rising corona cases. BMC has said those who are found violating the orders will be booked under Epidemic Act 1897 and National Disaster Management Act 2005. Over 5 crore 8 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in the country so far. Addressing media in New Delhi, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said the revised time interval between 2 doses of COVID vaccine is applicable only to Covishield and not to Covaxin vaccine. These 2 vaccines are being utilized in the ongoing vaccination drive. The Union Health Secretary said that time interval between the 2 doses of Covishield vaccine has been increased to 4 to 8 weeks after the first dose instead of earlier practiced interval of 4 to 6 weeks.
पहली और दूसरी डोज के बीच का अंतराल है जो कि पूर्व में 4 से 6 वीक हुआ करता था, उसको बढ़ाकर 4 से 8 वीक कर दिया जाए. ये भी कहा गया कि प्रोटेक्शन इज एनहांस्ड इफ द सेकेंड डोज ऑफ कोविशील्ड इज एडमिनिस्टर्ड बिटवीन 6 to 8 weeks बट नॉट लेटर देन स्टिपुलेटेड पीरियड ऑफ 8 weeks. इसका अर्थ ये हुआ कि अगर अंतराल 2 डोजेस के बीच कोविशील्ड के 4 से 8 हफ्ते का है तो किसी भी बेनिफिशियरी के पास ये चॉइस है कि वो चौथे हफ्ते में जाएं, 5वें हफ्ते में जाएं या उसके बाद जाएं, लेकिन साइंटिफिक एविडेंस ये कहता है कि आपको मिलने वाला प्रोटेक्शन बढ़ जाता है अगर दूसरी डोज आप छठे, सातवें या आठवें हफ्ते में लगवाएं।
Speaking about the recent surge in COVID cases, Mr. Rajesh Bhushan said that two states, Maharashtra and Punjab, are of grave concern, which have shown a recent surge in new cases. On genome sequencing, Director of National Centre for Disease Control, Dr. Sujit Kumar Singh, said that the genome sequencing by the Indian SARS-CoV-2 Consortium on Genomics, INSACOG, has sequenced 10,787 SARS-CoV-2 genome from COVID-19 positive international travelers as well as from the country. He said so far 771 variants have been detected in 18 states. Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul said that the government has adequate supplies of vaccines to deliver on the vaccination program and there is no shortage of it.
Maharashtra continues to report the highest daily new COVID-19 cases. The daily death count has also been the highest since 20th November last year, when 155 deaths had been reported. To prevent further spread of COVID-19, lockdown has been imposed in Beed, Parbhani and Nanded district in the state. In Beed, the lockdown will be from 26 March till 4th April. In Parbhani, the lockdown will begin from tonight till April 1st, while Nanded lockdown will be imposed for 11 days starting today. Meanwhile, the state government and various district administrations has come out with a set of guidelines for avoiding crowding during upcoming festivals. More from our correspondent.
According to the guidelines issued by Maharashtra government, no procession should be organized on Shab-e Barat and it has advised people to pray at their home. Mosques have been urged not to allow more than 40 people to pray at the same time to ensure that there is no crowding. Likewise, considering the sudden surge in COVID cases, the Mumbai Municipal Corporation has announced that Holi celebrations on March 28 and 29 will not be permitted in both private or public places across the metropolis. The BMC in its announcement has asked Mumbaikars to celebrate once the virus has been chased and requested them to cooperate. Similarly, neighbouring Palghar district administration has banned Holi celebration due to the rise in the cases in the district, including rural areas and student hostels. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
Canvassing is in full swing in West Bengal and Assam as campaign for the first phase of assembly election ends tomorrow evening. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed rallies in the two states today. The Prime Minister addressed two rallies at Sipajhar in Darang district, in Bipuria in Lakhimpur district of Assam. Mr. Modi said that the new agri-bills would open up new vistas of opportunities. Mr. Modi said that the double-engine government of the BJP has made rapid progress in Assam. Speaking at a rally at Kanti of East Medinipur district in West Bengal in support of party candidates, Mr. Modi said West Bengal needs a soul paribortan. He claimed that each household of Bengal is reiterating that Mamata Banerjee government will be changed on 2nd of May. On the other hand, Trinamool Congress leader and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee addressed a rally at Bishnupur of Bankura district of the state. She alleged that BJP is spreading false propaganda. She mentioned the list of welfare schemes implemented by the state government during her tenure. Assam will be witnessing three-phase elections while West Bengal will go to polls in 8 phases this time. 269 candidates are in fray for the 47 assembly constituencies in Assam, and while 191 candidates will be vying for the 30 assembly constituencies of West Bengal that will go to polls on 27th of this month in first phase. Single-phase assembly elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry will be held on 6th of April. On the same day, 31 seats in West Bengal and 40 constituencies in Assam will also go to polls in the third phase. Campaigning is also gaining momentum in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar released NDA's election manifesto for Kerala Assembly elections in Thiruvananthapuram today. We have a report.
The manifesto promises employment for at least one in every family and increasing of welfare pension to Rs 3,500 per month. A legislation to protect beliefs and customs in Sabarimala, a law against love jihad, creation of terror-free and hunger-free Kerala are the other highlights. The manifesto also promises housing, water and electricity for all, free laptop for high school students and 6 free gas cylinders for all BPL families. Mr. Javadekar criticized the left government in Kerala for hijacking the credit of centrally sponsored schemes. Meanwhile, the election campaigning in the state gathers momentum with only 13 days left for the polling. Union Home Minister Amit Shah accused that the state, which was once progressive, has currently become a center of corruption. Leaders of both LDF and UDF are also campaigning in full swing across the state. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Meanwhile, scrutiny of nomination papers was held today for the fourth phase of assembly elections in West Bengal.
In poll-bound West Bengal, the contest is not confined only to the battle for power, but it has also reached the dessert dishes. Our Kolkata correspondent reports that the iconic sweets of the state are now being presented in a different look to match the election scenario.
Bengalis have always been closely associated with sweets and politics, and this time there is no difference either. As the poll dates are coming closer, demand seems to be on the higher side for the vote sweets. From renowned ones to local sweet shop owners, all are busy making special sweets with the symbols of various political parties. Slogans of BJP and TMC like Shonar Bangla and Khela Hobe have become instant hit. Sweets with CPIM's parody song Tumpa Shona engraved on it are also attracting people. Sudip Mollik, owner of a renowned sweet chain shop of Kolkata, said that they are also following the trend.
We are making different varieties of sandesh with the party symbols on it. Every party has their sandesh, and we are also making sandesh on the slogans, those who are in the trend.
On the other hand, t-shirts with matching slogans and symbols, especially for the party workers, are also selling like hotcakes. Madhuparna Chaudhary for AIR News, Kolkata.
The Election Commission has sought a detailed report from the District Administration of Cooch Behar in poll-bound West Bengal regarding the Dinhata incident, where the situation turned grave after the hanging body of an office-bearer of BJP was found today. Special Police Observer Vivek Dubey visited the spot.
Parliament has passed the Finance Bill 2021, with the Rajya Sabha returning it to Lok Sabha today. With this, Parliament has completed all the budgetary exercise. Replying to a discussion on the Finance Bill 2021, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said, the NDA rule has provided corruption-free governance and brought Indian economy out of policy paralysis and fragile five. The government has raised the limit for tax exemption on interest earned on Provident Fund contribution by employees to 5 lakh per annum in specified cases as against 2.5 lakh rupees proposed in the budget. Replying to a discussion on the Finance Bill 2021 in Lok Sabha yesterday, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made this announcement. She said the tax-free limit is now being amended to a maximum of 5 lakh rupees per annum. This exemption, however, is subject to the condition that up to rupees 5 lakh contribution does not include employees' contribution beyond the statutory limit of up to 12% of the basic pay. Parliament has passed the National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill 2021. The bill seeks to set up a National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions to regulate and standardize the education and practice of allied and healthcare professionals. The bill was passed in Rajya Sabha last week. Our correspondent takes a look at the provisions in the bill.
The bill defines allied health professional as an associate, technician or technologist trained to support the diagnosis and treatment of any illness, disease, injury or impairment. Such a professional should have obtained a diploma or degree under this bill. A healthcare professional includes scientist, therapist or any other professional who studies, advises, researches, supervises or provides preventive, curative, rehabilitative, therapeutic or promotional health services. Such a professional should have obtained a degree under this bill. Allied and healthcare professions that are mentioned in the bill include professionals working in life sciences, trauma and burn care, surgical and anesthesia-related technology, physiotherapists, and nutrition science. With Bhupendra Singh, Suparna Seghya, AIR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official state visit to Bangladesh on the 26th and 27th of March on the invitation of Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. The visit comes at a momentous time in the bilateral ties when Bangladesh is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its liberation war. Addressing a media briefing, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said India had lent its full support to this noble cause in which Indian soldiers sacrificed their lives too. It is also the year of commemoration of 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
The visit comes at a momentous time in our bilateral ties. Bangladesh is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its liberation war. India had lent its full support to this noble cause in which Indian soldiers also sacrificed their lives. Both countries are commemorating 50 years of the establishment of diplomatic ties this year. India, as you're aware, was one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh in 1971.
Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana has registered a landmark achievement with the issuing of 10 crore card to a resident of Bihar. A 25-year-old Irfan Ali from Gopalganj district has received this card. This landmark achievement is a result of Aapke Dwar Ayushman campaign, which was launched to spread awareness among the beneficiaries. Under the scheme, any family can avail free medical benefits up to 5 lakh rupees per year. CEO of Ayushman Bharat, Dr. Ram Sevak Sharma, termed this as a great achievement, saying that the 100th crore Ayushman card has been issued to a beneficiary in Gopalganj district in Bihar.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from Rajya Sabha, writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. Replying to the debate on Finance Bill, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said from 1st of April there will be a stakeholders meeting on anti-dumping duty. Any such notification brought after consultation should come with a deadline, she said. She said that emphasis on direct tax is to increase compliance and not burden people. She said people are welcoming faceless system of assessment. She said that during the lockdown, 80 crore rupees was spent to feed people for 8 months. 80 crore people for 8 full months were given free food grains during the lockdown period. She said during the lockdown, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal was stressed and spent hours on how migrants would reach home. Responding to criticism of the government's handling of the economy, she said that inflation had reached double digits, but during the NDA rule, it had never crossed 6%. Inflation rate is well below today, she said. We are handling the economy in consultation with small traders, businessmen, she added. About GST on Tirupati Temple, the minister said that services provided are liable to GST. Finance Minister said this is not unique to one temple and applies to everywhere where rental accommodation above 1,000 per day is provided. Responding to members raising issue of non-payment of GST compensation to states, Mrs. Sitharaman said GST compensation has been paid to states for 2017-18 and 2018-19. Prior to the COVID year, every compensation to states has been paid. Over 2,17,000 crore rupees is the GST compensation due for 2020-21 till January. The compensation will be released in March. 30,000 crore rupees will go to states, she said. Replying to Dola Sen of the Trinamool Congress, Ms. Sitharaman said Centre wants to implement Ayushman Bharat Yojana, but West Bengal government is not allowing. Amid the Pro Deputy Chairman Harivansh put the finance bill to vote. Later, the bill was returned to the Lok Sabha by a voice vote. Earlier, initiating the discussion on the bill, Dependra Huda of the Congress said that even before the COVID-19 pandemic, the economy was in a bad shape. During the UPA rule, the average GDP growth rate was 7.8%. Mr. Huda said that during the UPA rule, the export growth rate was nearly 21%. Now it is down to 4%. Sushil Modi of BJP congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi for tackling of the COVID pandemic. The Prime Minister held 120 meetings with foreign leaders, he said. Lauding the budget for not imposing any new tax on the common man, he said the revenue collection reduced by more than 23% because of the pandemic. Everyone thought that a new tax, probably a COVID-19 tax, would be introduced to meet this shortfall. Dola Sen of the Trinamool Congress charged the NDA government with not giving the promised funds to the state governments. She said the states have not been given GST dues. Amar Patnaik of BJD said that provisions of the finance bill will serve to decrease the divisible pool to be shared between the state and the centre. TKS Ilangovan of DMK said that despite a reduction in international crude oil prices, the fuel prices in the country have gone up, charging with government of pursuing a pro-corporate policy, he said. Vijay Sai Reddy of YSR Congress Party expressed concern on disinvestment of PSUs. 31 PSUs have got the Cabinet's approval for privatization, include Vizag Steel Plant. He claimed it is very unfortunate that the government has gone for privatizing such excellent PSUs. Ram Gopal Yadav of Samajwadi Party said that the budge has not given any benefit in income tax to the salaried class, a class which can't hide its earnings. Jharna Das Baidya of CPIM said the government has attributed the economic downturn to COVID-19 pandemic, but even before the pandemic, the economic slowdown had set in. The Indian economy has witnessed a sharp contraction of nearly 23%, she said. She said the country's unemployment rate is growing sharply. Manoj Kumar Jha of RJD expressed concern on disinvestment of PSUs. Praful Patel of NCP said that most of the states are facing delay in recovering of the GST. There was categorical assurance by the centre when GST bill was passed that the states will not be affected. He said that no relief has been given to the tourism sector, which has been the worst hit by COVID pandemic. Rajiv Satav of Congress accused the government of attempting to bypass the Rajya Sabha. He criticized the government on the rising fuel prices. Jyotiraditya Scindia of the BJP said the Indian economy is already on the path of recovery after setback during the COVID-19. He said it is a matter of pride that 60% of the vaccine used in the world is being manufactured here. The vaccine is acting as a Swasth Setu health bridge. 25 to 30 lakh Indians are being vaccinated every day, the biggest vaccination drive in the world, he said. He said during 2013-14, when UPA was in power, the person who was earning 5 lakh rupees per annum had to pay 30,000 rupees income tax. Arpita Ghosh, Dr. Shantanu Sen and Derek O'Brien, all Trinamool Congress, Jairam Ramesh, Neeraj Dangi and Neeraj All Congress, Sujit Kumar of BJD, Narayan Das Gupta of Aam Aadmi Party, Abdul Wahab of IUML, K. Ravindra Kumar of TDP and Priyanka Chaturvedi of Shiv Sena also participated in the debate. Later, the Deputy Chairman, Harivansh, put the Finance Bill to vote. The Minister moved for return of the Finance Bill 2021. The bill was returned to the Lok Sabha by a voice vote. Thereafter, Deputy Chairman Harivansh took up consideration of the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021. Speaking on the bill, Leader of the Opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, said that the bill seeks to give to the Lieutenant Governor the status of the government. Sanjay Singh of Aam Aadmi Party said the bill is unconstitutional. Thereafter, Deputy Chairman Harivansh asked Bhupendra Yadav of BJP to speak on the bill. Bhupendra Yadav said the bill does not seek to take away powers of the state. The bill is to improve administration in the state, he said. The discussion on Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill was continuing till the writing of the script. Earlier proceedings of the House began with making obituary reference to a sitting member, A. Mohammad Jan. Mohammad Jan represented Tamil Nadu in the upper house since 2019. Chairman Venkaiah Naidu said Mohammad Jan was simple, polite and duty-minded. As a mark of respect to the member, the House was adjourned for 1 hour.
And now review proceedings in Lok Sabha. Writer is Achinta Bora or PTI. A bill to set up a commission for regulating and prescribing uniform education standards for allied and healthcare professionals was approved by Parliament, with the Lok Sabha giving its nod to the legislation by a voice vote. The National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill 2021 seeks to provide for regulation and maintenance of standards of education and services by allied and healthcare professionals. The bill was passed by Rajya Sabha last week. Replying to a debate on the bill, Health Minister Harshvardhan said the legislation is aimed at fulfilling long-pending demands of the sector and enhance employment opportunities for professionals. The paramedics and allied healthcare workers are a critical part of the medical profession, and their contribution is similar to doctors, if not more, he said. Recalling the role played by paramedics and allied healthcare workers, lab technicians, radiographers, dietitians during the COVID-19 pandemic, the minister said they played a very critical role in recovery of patients. The minister said the bill aims at establishing a statutory body or commission that frames policies and standards regulate professional conduct and qualifications for allied healthcare professionals, besides providing uniformity of service standards across institutions. Balubhau Narayan Rao Dhanurkar of Congress, Subhash Bhambre and Manoj Rajoria, both of BJP, Hanuman Beniwal of RLP, Hasnain Masoodi of Congress and Anupriya Patel of Apna Dal participated in the debate. The Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Amendment Bill 2021, which seeks to strengthen the provisions relating to the protection and adoption of children, was passed by Lok Sabha today. Replying to the debate, Union Women and Child Welfare Minister Smriti Irani said there will be proper background check of all those who would be recruited in childcare institutions to ensure that such persons were not involved in child abuse and human rights violation cases in the past. No one would be given jobs if found to be involved in any such cases, she said. The minister said as many as 436 non-registered childcare institutions were closed down in the country. The bill, which seeks to amend the Juvenile Justice Act 2015, proposes to increase the role of district magistrates and additional district magistrates with issues concerning childcare and adoption, she said. The bill also seeks to categorize offences wherein the maximum sentences is more than 7 years imprisonment, but no minimum sentence or a minimum sentence of less than 7 years has been provided as serious offences under the Juvenile Justice Act, and to remove difficulties in interpretation of the Act. The minister said the bill intends to ensure that the district magistrate is suitably placed to ensure effective coordination among the stakeholders for the facilitation of necessary services for children's rehabilitation or reintegration. Parneet Kaur Congress, Aparajita Sarangi of BJP, Arvind Sawant of Shiv Sena and Chandeshwar Prasad of JDU participated in the debate. A bill which seeks to amend the law governing the airport's economic regulator was introduced in the Lok Sabha today. The Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill 2021 proposes to tweak the definition of major airports so as to extend its scope to determine the tariff for a group of airports. That's all in Parliament Review.
Indian shooters swept the medals with Chinky Yadav and Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar winning gold medals at IISSF World Cup in New Delhi today. Chinky Yadav won the gold medal in the women's 25-meter pistol event. Chinky outgunned the experienced Rahi Sarnobat in a shoot-off to clinch the top spot. Manu Bhakar secured the bronze medal, finishing with 28 points. Earlier, Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar won the gold medal in the men's 50-meter rifle three positions event. The 20-year-old became the youngest in history to win a shooting World Cup gold in the three positions event. The Ministry of Defence has decided to allow the Retired Short Service Commission SSC officers of the Army to use military ranks as applicable. The SSC officers, after completion of their mandated terms and conditions of service, had not been authorized to use the military ranks. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to experience strong surface winds during daytime. The temperature will hover between 16 and 31 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. City will observe minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 27 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 29 degrees. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky with minimum temperature around -2 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 10 degrees. Gilgit will have rain or snowfall. The temperature will hover between 8 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad is likely to have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 8 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 18 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre advises states and union territories to consider imposing restrictions on public celebration of Holi and other festivals amid surge in coronavirus cases. India's total vaccination coverage crosses 5 crore doses. Canvassing heats up for the first phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and Assam. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses rallies in West Bengal and Assam. Parliament passes finance bill. Limit for tax exemption raised on interest earned on Provident Fund contribution from 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh rupees per annum. National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions Bill passed by Parliament to regulate practice of allied and healthcare professionals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Bangladesh on 26th and 27th of March to take part in 50th anniversary of its liberation war. 10 croreth Ayushman card handed over to a beneficiary from Bihar. And in sports, Indian shooters Chinky Yadav and Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar win gold medals at ISSF World Cup in New Delhi. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.